Hey everyone, this is Luminous coming you guys with a pro Dota commentary. This commentary is affiliated with DC, and for more commentaries and content, check us out on DotaCommentaries.com. Alright, this game is going to be between Scythe and Nirvana Malaysia. This is the finals of the ADC tournament, and Scythe has made a pretty good run so far. I mean, they're in the final, so it's actually a really good run. This is actually game 3. I don't know the result of game 1 and nor 2, but there's a game 4 after. I think I'm not even positive about that. So, but I have saw the heroes, and I was really excited. I'm not gonna do a pick and ban analysis because this game is gonna be a little bit too long, and I don't want to split it into two parts like I did last time, and we all remember what happened last time. So I'm just gonna basically let the pick and ban just run through, and then kind of just talk about the heroes afterwards. Should save me at least a good 5-10 minutes or so. As we're going through these picks and bans, I was not gonna do a commentary tonight because really tired of my work days. You can tell from my voice I'm not really super excited like I usually am. But I sat down, I was like, you know what, I don't feel like casting, I don't feel like doting either, so I'm going to just watch some anime. And I never ever really talk about anime. I'm a big anime fan, as you guys all know from my music choices, but I don't really talk about anime in any of my commentaries. So I was watching, I think this season's and probably this year's the best anime, which in my opinion is Mahou Shoujo Madoka Magico. Yeah, it's a long ass name, but I definitely I was like, okay, I was somewhat sleepy, and I watched the current episode, and I was like, oh my effing god, and that definitely woke me up. And I think the reason I don't really recommend anime that often, I mean, I've made like a 1 or 2 recommendation video, but I don't usually recommend anime because I think most of my viewers watches bad anime, Bleach, Naruto. So I don't find the need to recommend any. I mean, I just think the anime I just referred to was probably you might watch the first 2 episodes and be like, what the fuck is this? That was my reaction too, but this anime taught me to never judge a book by its cover. My god, it's one of the darker anime I've ever seen, and I watch a lot of anime, so. Alright, enough about animes. Gonna go back into Dota here. Scythe on the Sentinel and Nirvana Malaysia on the Scourge. Gonna just pull it up. We have been pretty familiar with Scythe because they've been playing. I don't know who's Don't Lag Please, but I guess he's Koi, maybe, if he's just under a different tag. But yes, he's in Koi's position right now. You see that Yamate, Hi, Roy, Sharky, and Koi would be their last player. We on the Scourge here, Nirvana Malaysia, Mushi, Extinct, Net. I don't know who this is, and I don't know who Cat is. Maybe he's just a new player that I'm not too familiar with. And this is game 3 of the series, so some of the picks and bans are pretty much or maybe influenced by previous games. So I don't know what happened in game 2. Maybe there was a sniper pick, or maybe Scourge was a little bit afraid of Yamate Sniper when they played against LGD SGTY. That was definitely a pretty good game. I believe it was on DotaCommentaries.com. Not casted by me, of course, casted by another caster or a member commentator, which, by the way, lately on DotaCommentaries.com, we're literally having trouble keeping up with all the commentaries are just being pumped out. I think a while back we were struggling to have content on the website, but now, as a content manager, I'm quite happy to say that we actually have this problem. This is a good problem. We have a problem of keeping up with all the new contents coming out. Nebula has, I guess, forced himself into a 1-day casting spree. Every single day he's been casting a game. So if you're a big fan of Nebula, and I know you guys are, come check him out on DotaCommentaries.com. And of course, we have a lot of up-and-coming commentators as well. So this pick and ban is gonna be winding down. I'm gonna just talk about the heroes a little bit, and you can see that this Void pick, last pick by Sentinel, is what drove me to cast this game. And I mean, the first 3 heroes quite self-explanatory. You can see that these are 3 support heroes, so most likely the Lich is gonna be promoted into be playing as solo Lich, which in my I think in my 99th commentary with Scythe, yeah, these are very Scythe-esque heroes. They pick these heroes all the time. You Lich solo. Koi's Shaker was just really insane. Generic support. Hi's Tinker. Hi had Hi had an MVP Tinker in cast number 99. He was just perma hexing at late game. Had a very good build into Soul Ring, into Soul Ring, I think into Hex, and then back to Shivas. He had a 4 staff somewhere in there as well, and then a Void. I'm pretty sure Yamate is gonna be playing Void. Of course he's gonna be playing Void. He's always playing the hard carry. And it's going to be very interesting to see how Void or any other melee carry would work against in the professional gaming. I did cast a game with a PA. I did cast a game with Anti-Mage, and those are kind of in the same category as the Void melee carries. And you guys all know I'm not a big fan of melee carries. I just don't think they are viable in current Dota metagame because there's too many things that counter. I'll just bring it up as this game progresses. But let's look at the Scourge hero here. We do have a Shadow Fiend, we do have Avenge, Alchemist, Puck, and the Lina. Nothing too much to speak about. I really like the choice of Puck though. Puck has really been Nirvana Malaysia's hero for a really long time. Mushi had a very destructive Puck. I think Yamate was still on Nirvana Malaysia. And let's see whether he's going to be playing the Puck today. And I really love Malaysia's Puck play. It's quite more offensive than the usual. And even with or without the Blink Dagger, the Puck always gets really nice ganks, really gets very good team fights started for the team. And I really like Scourge's pick so far. Not the most standard picks, because we do have an Alchemist, Shadow Fiend, 2 heroes that are just trending away lately. But they are definitely very good, very good hero. One thing I am a little bit worried about the Scourge lineup is that you could look at it; it's quite frail. And I mean, Sentinel lineup is not too beastly in HP either, but Sentinel very hard nukers. The laser from the Tinker, the laser rocket from the Tinker, the Lit Chain Frost, Echo Slam from the Shaker will do quite a bit of damage against the squishy lineup from Scourge. So meanwhile, Scourge, they do have pretty good nuke themselves with the Laguna Blade and the Shadow Fiend and the Puck. But I think in terms of just straight nuking, I think the Sentinel will have the advantage. Now, as this game goes later and later, I believe Sentinel will have the advantage as well. Tinker, one of the best late game intelligence hero. Void is, he's an agility hero in late game. There's not too much to speak on about that. Alchemist can get very late because of his Goblin Greed, and also Shadow Fiend can get very late as well. Sentinel does have pretty good mid game team fight with the Chain Frost, with the Echo Slam. I feel like Sentinel does have the better picks, but it really comes down to positioning, as in professional gaming. I believe there was a Divine Rapier Dusa in one of my casts. Yeah, I think that was 99, and they lost, mostly due to being out of the position. So, in my opinion, professional gaming, you can be really behind and still win the game if you just have better position compared to your opponent. But both these teams are very seasoned and very tested as well. So we'll see though. Now, one thing I want to point out, I saw something here with the Venge. Yes, this thing has been becoming a little bit more and more popular, as we see most teams just pick up one Smoke of the Seat first. I'm not exactly too sure of the logical reasoning behind it. I mean, of course, you could just pop it into a gank and then etc, but I don't know why you would just pick it up so early. In terms of, will you really need it? Will you, like, if they were going to be smoking into a gank, they would have already popped it right now and then just ran into the forest and looked for a fight. But for some reason, I don't think that is really the choice. I think it's usually maybe for like a 2 or 3 minute roam into the game, and that would be really helpful in terms of running past the wards. And let's see if it's gonna be. Ooh. Now, one thing I want to point out is that I believe that they were expecting the tri lane to be top. And the reason I believe so is that Lich has had the wards, and he's plopping at the top lane here. If they expected the tri lane to be at bottom, they would have put the wards at bottom, because really playing a tri lane blind is quite a disadvantageous position. Never mind, they bought two sets of wards, so that's quite unorthodox as well. 2 sets of wards, and that's quite a bit of big investment in the early game. Haste Lina is going to come around, blocks off the ward cam, and this ward is going to be paying off huge. We will see a lot of movement here. They will know that 2 heroes are missing. They won't see it, but they know that they just ran into this general area. And if the Sentinel, if the Scourge hero run into this path, they're definitely going to be spotted out by this ward. Let's look at how the laning phase is going to go here. We're going to have a tri lane facing off against a tri lane, when everyone goes back to the lane at the bottom, with the Alchemist, with the Lina, and the Venge very stun heavy on the Sentinel, but on the Scourge, excuse me. Sentinel quite defensive though. They will have to cast, they will have to time walk on the Void, so Very defensive here. Of course, Shaker is just a defensive beast in terms of long range Fisher and whatnot. So very offensive versus very defensive lineup. It all comes down to positioning. It really comes down to positioning. Meanwhile, here we're gonna see the exact same lineup. With the Lich versus the Puck here, and last time we saw the Puck just completely getting outlaned. Let's see if this Puck is going to be faring a little bit different. I mean, on the mid lane here, very kind of old school standard lane of the Shadow Fiend versus the Tinker. 3-2 on the Tinker and 4-1 on the Shadow Fiend. Very even farm. So far this game is just even, just even Stevens. Is that American thing? I don't even know. That just popped into my mind. I believe Even Steven was a TV show. I'm not sure. I think they're going to go for the Void. They're going to wait for the Void to time jump. He's trying to time jump. Let's see if it's going to be chain stun. Very good chain stun coming from the Scourge hero, but I don't think they will get the kill though. Yeah, the Void's going to be fine. Not even casting his time walks. I know he has it. His animation was going off. Even though that didn't kill the Void, that did force the Void to stay back. And actually, he doesn't have a salve. His teammate doesn't have a salve either. And that's actually pretty big because now he can't really venture into the lane too safely. As we see, who is going to get the rune? Witch Doctor does get the rune. And that is going to be pretty good for the Witch Doctor. Not that he could get a kill, but because he's invisible, he's going to be threatening against the Scourge team. The Scourge Heroes is going to be playing a little bit more defensive because just the fact that there's a Witch Doctor that is invisible. Let's see if they're going to be just doing just that. No, they're going to just stick around. Venge actually might be a little bit out of position because if you stick his neck a little bit too forward, he will get casted. Now, the good thing about, the fortunate thing about Venge is that he's going to be casted, but there's nothing to bounce on. So that 1 point. Oh, there we go. I think they're going to go for it. Or is it going to be a Fisher, though? Enough mana for the Fisher? Should be enough. Oh, my God. Venge out of position. He definitely saw the that was kind of a little bit bad play in my opinion. He knew the Witch Doctor was invisible. I think should have been backing up a little bit, or at least not be so offensive, chasing the enemy into, away from your creep, so far away from your teammates as well. So that was a little bit kind of bad in my opinion. But meanwhile, on the top lane here, Puck is starting to get out lane as we see Lich gets a higher level. Lich has 8 CS. Meanwhile, Puck actually leading with 14-4. I mean, this is just a nuking machine. Lich will just not stop in terms of nuking. And in terms of Lich, it's not really too hard. All he really has to do is either bait out the phase with a single right click and then just go for the nuke, or just nuke straight ahead. Puck might, auto cast Puck might not be a bad idea either, depending whether you could, switch it on and off fast enough. And this is what I mean, the smoke gang coming in, that is going to be really big. In terms of running across the board, I think Tinker suspected it's not what you see, but what you don't see. As that's kind of my mantra against Smoke here. And it looks like Tinker is going to try to run. It is going to be a Magic Missile. It's going to be an LSA, and they are going to get a kill on the Tinker, and the Slayer barely surviving. He is going to salve up, and this is going to be a very good opportunity for the Slayer to actually gank top as well. Or is she going to stick around mid? Probably going to roam back to the bot lane. So that is the advantage of picking up an early smoke. The only thing I don't like about that is that your enemy will know, because they will check your inventory, so they will know. Oh, as we see Shadow Fiend, is he gonna grab the rune? I don't think. Yeah, no, he did grab the rune. Can he live though? Is it gonna be a stun? No, not enough mana for the stun. A Dragon Slave canceling a salve, and are they gonna go around? There is enough mana for the Earthshaker now. He did cast it and then stop the animation. So. And going back to the smoke I was talking about, the only reason I don't like to pick it up, just in the fountain, is that the enemy will check your item and will check your inventory and might be a little bit susceptible to a gank. But as we saw from this game, the information is out there for the professional players, but it seems like they're not really taking into account of the information. Of course, with the invisible with the invisible Witch Doctor, and with the the smoke on the Venge. I mean, those are very clear things that you can see. Like, they saw the Witch Doctor take the rune, they saw the smoke on the Venge, so they shouldn't really fall for this. But again, I'm a commentator, so I have, entire map vision. I could click on hero inventories all the time, and these are players in the game, worry about last hit, worry about map awareness and everything like that. So maybe, I'll give the professional players the benefit of the doubt as they are like 20 times better than me. And I'm going to check the farm, and they're going to do a lot of harass going on the Void. Void is going to be just harassed constantly, but because he does have the Ring of Health, and because he's probably maxing backtrack as we speak, he is going to be really, there's really no way that they will kill Faceless Void, probably until this support hits level 6 with a swap and Laguna Blade. I don't think Void's going to go down, unless he's horribly out of position. It looks like these supports just been totally on top of it in terms of grabbing the rune. Venge is level 2. There is, oh my god, this Venge is going to be going down. Oh, Fisher actually missed though, but because he does not have the boot of speed and that Void does, I think Void is going to just get a very, very easy kill. He did not get the kill, but it's not too important. It's the EXP that counts, and of course he got the assist goal as well. So Venge, the second time being out of position, and well, I wouldn't call that one out of position. I guess it was a little unlucky. Pug does have a haste rune. He is level 6, so there is a Dream Coil. Tinker need to be careful though. One thing about High is that usually he's a little bit more aggressive than I usually like to him. I guess that's one of his merit and maybe one of his faults as well. And it's a very fine line. I mean, it's a very fine line between, you know, aggressive and then just being completely out of position. As we see the Shaker coming around, is it going to be a laser rocket? I don't think he could kill the Nevermore. Anyways, Pug is going to be coming around and getting rid of that Fisher is going to be huge in terms of if Pug drops a Dream Coil. No, it looks like they're going to just call it back. Lich is going to be picking, let's see what Lich picks up in this game. Last time we saw Lich, yeah, he's going to go for the exact same build. Going to go for the Vanguard first, Mecha, and then Blink Dagger. I don't agree with this build. I already voiced out my disagreement in my last comment here, but just in case you didn't watch that, I just don't think range Vanguard is a good option. If you want the HP, just get a Vitality booster or get a just point booster. You could go for a very good like an Aga build, not bad. If you want the regen, then just get the Ring of Health or just get the Mecha. That gives you regen too. So I'm not really too sure why the Mecha is, or the Vanguard is absolutely necessary. I don't think it is. So, but let's see. There is a teleportation coming around. That is the Venge, and there's a teleportation coming out as well. Those both supports are very on top of it, getting a gank. Now, if a full scale kind of skirmish breaks out, I have to give the favor to the Sentinel because they do have the Chain Frost. Chain Frost and 2v2 fights are just epic. And let's see who's going to be farming a little bit better. Alchemist is having 31 creep kills. Yamate is leading by 10 creep kills as well. It looks like, oh my god, Venge taking quite a bit of damage, but luckily these two illusions taking the rocket, or else that Venge would be dead for sure. And he actually denied a rune as I missed the first kill, and that was the Chain Frost ganking off the Lina. My apology for missing that chain here. Good teleport. And one thing I want to point out is that a lot of unprofessional players, they just forget to get TP scrolls, especially when you're a strong early game hero such as the Lich, such as the Shaker with great range, great nukes. Just have a TP scroll once you're like level 5 or 6. You can get off very easy kills like that. And this easy kill may not have translated too much on a scoreboard. That's just one kill for the Lich. But what this allows to do is that Yamate could now just walk up to the creeps and farm evenly against the Alchemist, whereas before, because there was a ranged Lina on the Sentinel, the Faceless Void had to play a little bit more defensive. So even though that kill did not translate too much on the scoreboard, it was just a huge momentum shift in terms of the lane. You can see that Yamate is slowly but surely leading up in terms of CS. But yes, Goblin Greed level 4 being maxed up. I love this choice. They realized, the Scourge players realized that they weren't going to kill the Faceless Void. There's just no way. So might as well just go for a farming Alchemist. And this Alchemist is going to just have to get a copious amount of farm to cope with this Void. Void is going to go finish his... Oh, he's going to go Perseverance first. So we're going to see a Battle Fury Void. I definitely doubt that's a Lincoln Sphere. I doubt it at all. So it's the second time we're going to see a melee carry being played by Yamate, skipping the standard Vanguard BKB stuff. Going to go for a straight Battle Fury first. And he's going to just rely on positioning. Good dodge from the Alchemist. I guess that was... luck, maybe, I don't know, or maybe he just timed it perfectly to dodge a stun, and looks like that might have saved his life, but I think he's gonna be okay. He does have the Vanguard finish, and one thing about this I'll talk about later. There's a lot of pings going on, there's a lot of action going on. Okay, I'm safe to talk about stuff here. I'll do a quick creep checks when I have the chance. Now, one thing about this, Faceless Void, the Battle Fury build, in pubs, and even in a lot of pro games, I would just, disregard it as a very published build. But like I always say, and I always believe, there's many ways to play Dota, and there's, even though the defensive way is a very standard way to play Dota, of course there's, you could go for a Battle Fury build first, and then it sort of worked out for Yamate last time when he played the Anti-Mage. But what this build really reminds me of is like StarCraft Broodwood. If you are a frequent watcher, if you're a frequent watcher of the highest level of StarCraft, what the Korean players love to do is cut corners. They'll cut as many corners as possible because let's say two equally skilled players go against each other. Like just assume everything's equal. The player that cuts the most corner and get away with it, that is, you give yourself small leads. And yes, Vanguard First is a very good item as we see a gank going on, and this is where Vanguard First might give you a chance of survival. Probably not because it was a 4v1 gank. But yeah, it just reminds me of StarCraft. If you as many corners as you cut, that will give you advantage in terms of other things. The Void, yes, he die there. I don't think the Vanguard would have saved him either, to be honest. But because he's cutting the corner, he will get accelerated farm. That Battle Fury 40 minutes in the game will just be a lot better item in terms of Vanguard. Once you get enough survivability, that Battle Fury will start to. I mean, Battle Fury First is not then a stellar item, but as the game progresses longer and longer, it will speed up your farm. It will like repel pushes a lot faster, give Void a little bit of AoE, not too much, but it's every little bit helps. What I'm trying to say is it's a very risky build, but you can see this is a build that will pay off if you play it right. So again, not the only way to play Dota. Don't get that idea stuck in your head. As we see a mid engagement here, Scourge just took the bot tower as I was ranting on about this. Looks like mid heroes are going to go for a tower themselves as well. Once Void picks up his level 6, he can be a little bit aggressive, and the Scourge heroes gotta be Scourge heroes, excuse me, gotta be careful because a lot of initiating power on the Sentinel. They will have the Chain Frost. The Chain Frost plus the Chronosphere, very good combo indeed. If you get get a 2 or 3 heroes stuck in a Chronosphere, then the team fight is basically automatically won for Sentinel. It's just really up to the positioning of Scourge heroes. They cannot clump up. This is the one team that if you clump up, you just lose. Chain Frost, Echo Slam, Chronosphere, you just need to spread out like crazy motherfuckers. You can't clump up at all, man. You clump up, you lose. And I have an irking feeling that this game will be just gonna be determined by something ridiculously as well. It's not ridiculous, but it's a very simple fact. But inevitably, people make mistakes. As we see a tower push coming on, there is a very good tower defending mechanism, and that is going to be Acid Spray, and I believe they will repel they are repelling the Sentinel just for now. And this is quite important because Shadow Fiend's getting his farm. Shadow Fiend is going to go for a BKB first. Quite a standard build. Not too sure whether I agree with it because there are quite a bit of stuff that goes through BKB. Well, not quite a bit of stuff that goes through BKB. Primarily just a Chronosphere. So I mean, if let's say Void jumps in and Chronos you before you do the BKB, that is just a 4k gold. That is not going to help you because within the Chronosphere you're going to just be dead. There's no way that they will allow the Sentinel to live. As we see another smoke gang coming around for the Void. Void quite a low HP. He is going to eat a magic. Oh, dodges the magic missile. It's going to be LSA though. No, Chronosphere actually wasting a Chronosphere as well. Someone TPs in. That is going to be a shaker, and they will need a massive amount of teleportation. There's a ping going on. Chain Frost bouncing on the 2 support. Venge goes down immediately. It looks like Shadow Fiend is going to be dead as well. Is he going to cast his ultimate? He can't even cast his ultimate. He's going to try to TP, but there is going to be cast really well done by the roaming of the Venge here, grabbing himself extra kills. Man, that was a 1-for-3 gang. I think maybe the Sentinel was better off. They just all ran out. But that was just very heads up play from all of the Sentinel players. I guess minus Yamate because he died. But very heads up play from the Sentinel players because as soon as the Void got ganked, we saw a TP scroll coming in from the Earthshaker. We saw 2 support heroes roaming to mid to top. And this is what distinguished between really top teams with high reaction rates to help out your carries and having better map movement. This is what distinguishes from the very top teams with your standard everyday run of the mill. We aspire to be good but not really good scrubbish teams, if that makes sense. Actually, that reminds me of a very engagement going on. I'm sorry, missing that. Dreamcoat went off, and they did get a kill on Puck. Yeah, Puck just got ganked by 3 heroes, and that's what I call out of position. But anyways, what I was talking about reminded me of a very interesting clip I saw, where I believe it was a scrim, like a friendly scrim for practice between MYM and GG.net, where Kuroki Sniper was farming bot lane. He had like half HP. He was very low HP. And Demon was playing Beastmaster, and he wanted to get a gang going on. So I think Demon like TP to the bot tower. That he was on Scourge, and he literally walked in the jungle and like just axed axed, and then axed all the way to Kuroki, and then roared, and then just killed him. And it was a very, very sneaky gank, and I don't even know why I brought it up, but I just brought up some. Yeah, I don't even know why I brought it up, but it was just interesting that I remember. It's somehow coordinated with this gank. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I remember now. So that was a very interesting gank clip. But what impressed me the most about that clip was that as soon as Kuroki got roared by the Beastmaster, we saw a teammate just immediately TP, and it was almost a split second right after the roar, and he TP'd in. And again, that kind of goes back to what I was saying about the whole like reaction rate in terms of TP helping out teammate. We do have a smoked Witch Doctor. He is gonna try to get a gank on the Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend gets casted, but there's no bounce. He's gonna BKB, and that's really good move. There is a Shadow Fiend not hitting too much, but that's gonna C-raise, and that goes to a kill for the Shadow Fiend, and that is pretty big because, I mean, you prevent a death, and that might have been a for sure death with that Maledic and Laser Rocket, very high DPS. And instead, the Shadow Fiend turned around, got a kill, and got a couple of got EXP. That's pretty important as well. Let me check out how everyone's farming. I haven't been doing too much CS because I just have too much stuff to talk about. Let's see. 75 on the Tinker, does have his BOT and a Soul Ring finish. Very standard build, very good build from Hi. Very well done. 75 in 17 minutes. Not exactly the best farm, but after getting BOT, that is the most important thing. 22 on the Shaker, not too impressive, but he doesn't really need farm. 93 on Yamate, and this is, Yamate needs to carry his team, and it looks like he is going to be going for a very carry build, as we see a Roshan attempt going in from the Scourge. I'm just going to keep the window here and keep checking on CS. And 43 creep kills on the Lich. Lich not as dominating against Puck as he did against who did he play? What was my 99 cast? I forgot who Scythe was playing. MEFC, yeah, MEFC's Puck had a really hard time. But looks like this Puck in Nirvana Malaysia, yeah, Nirvana Malaysia always have good Pucks. But anyways, so the Lich didn't do as well as compared to before. 97 on Shadow Fiend, leading the game in terms of farm, actually tying the Yamate. Which I have to say, if you're a one-hit melee hero and you're tying the farm against a Shadow Fiend, then either you're lasting like a champ, or your teammates just giving you so much farming room, or both. And I think it's both. So 67 on the Puck, really well done, and then 81 on the Alchemist. And you gotta keep in mind that 81 is more than 81 because he does have Goblin Greed, and you also have to keep in mind that Goblin Greed was maxed at level 7, so that's a very farming intensive build. So it looks like both teams is going to go for a farming intensive game, which, every time I say this, I think last time I was like, oh yeah, Deuce a very, very late game hero, so Scourge should push. But they prove me wrong. They say, well, we could go late game as well, which I still believe. Deuce is probably the best late game hero, and of course, yeah, the anti-mage totally ripped up the Dusa. I think that's not Dusa's fault, but the fault of his teammate. As we see Puck coming in with a Drum Coil, and are we going to have a BKBO? That is a BKBO. Lich goes down before casting Chain Frost, and that is going to be it. They're going to kill the... Ooh. Well done by the... Witch Doctor trying to TP out. Unfortunately, not able to TP out, though. I think they're going to lose a mid tower right now. That was a very quick team fight coming in from the Sentinel. And Scourge, excuse me. And Scourge will have these kind of team fight potentials without, not against the Void. Once the Void is in the picture, it's going to be a little bit different, because even if you have a Dream Coil, even if you have a BKB Shadow Fiend, you still got to spread up, because that thing the Chronosphere just go through absolutely everything. It looks like even though the Sentinel lost the team fight, because they have pretty good defensive heroes, they will defend it. Shaker is going to be coming around, and Shaker, I think he's going to be close to his dagger quite soon. We're going to have a BOT Tinker coming in as well, and because of all these defensive capability, the Marcher Machine, the Fisher, I think the Sentinel is not too pressed in terms of losing towers, at least for now. And they're just giving room for Yamate to farm. Yamate is going to be close to his Battlefield, checking out farm. Yeah, Yamate does have his Battlefield finished, and you bet he's going to go for BKB after that. Let's see if anyone else is close to anything. Shaker, not close. He has 200 gold. The chicken flying around. So no dagger. He's quite poor. I thought he would have a little bit more than that. Another Smoke of the Sea gank coming in. Let me see how Shadow Fiend's going. Shadow Fiend is having an 1800 gold. He does have the Aegis as well. Let's see if he's gonna go for a Manta style or a Blink Dagger. I think Manta style is probably a better choice in this case. I would actually go for Lothar's Edge. I mean, I actually been starting to like Lothar's Edge a little more and more on Shadow Fiend, especially if you're against things that you can't prevent. As we see a Chronosphere coming in, and oh my God, Puck is gonna just be dead. Puck, yeah, Puck face. Oh, he drops his Dream Coil, drops his Silence before he died. Lefty's gonna be teleport coming in though. They did kill the Tinker from the. I don't even see where Lina was, and killed the Tinker. And actually, canceling the Raise Mushi. And I think they're gonna go for the Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend's just 2 or 3 hits away, and that is the Dragon Slave coming in. Shaker drops all his spells, but regardless, he's gonna go down. Looks like is that the Venge? I can't even tell. Venge goes down, and actually, Chain Frost gets BKB'd, but that all wasn't the best. And so we see, is he gonna be okay? Yeah, Faceless Void is gonna be okay. So back and forth team fight. Sorry I missed the whole Tinker. Tinker just got backstabbed by Lina, Dragon Slave, LSA, Laguna Blade, and that was kind of it. So both teams playing it really well. Very offensive play from Yamate, just initiating on a Puck. And usually you can't initiate on Puck because he has so many escape spells. But again, Chronosphere goes through absolutely everything. Now, as this game is progressing, one thing I do want to point out is that so far, we're kind of seeing a 4v5, 4v4 for most time, but 4v5 in the favor of the Scourge. When I say 4v5, I mean both Void and Alchemist is farming, but the Alchemist, the Void has been ganked once or twice, and then the Void has been joining fights once or twice. Meanwhile, on the other hand here, the Alchemist is just being completely free farming, and we all know Alchemist is one of the most dangerous heroes out there in terms of getting his items so very quickly. 22-minute treads, Vanguard, and power and Radiance. That is just exceptional farm from the Alchemist. Now, one thing I want to point out why do I always say that? One thing I want to point out. I have many things I want to point out, but here's the thing I want to point out. If you look at the Scourge heroes, right, they are a pretty good late game hero, and the merit of both an Alchemist and a Shadow Fiend is that they aren't the strongest late game hero, but they will get to late game faster than most other heroes because of Goblin Greed, because of Shadow Raises. They will just accelerate a farm. So if let's say if two all these heroes in the late game, if you just say, oh, if I get a very stacked Alchemist, you give me 6 items, and then you give Void 6 items, of course the Void will win. But the thing is, the Shadow Fiend and the Alchemist will get to the 6th item a lot quicker. See Mushi actually going for the Blink Dagger. Very interesting. I'm not too sure whether I like Shadow Fiend's item build. Yes, and the reason is that when the Chronosphere is dropped on you, it doesn't matter what items you have, you're going to be dead. Which is a little bit counterproductive, because I was thinking, well, let's see if you see the Void comes in, jumps at you, you could, I guess you could blink out. Maybe that was his reasoning. If he's got quick enough reaction, you just blink out. But I was thinking Lothar's Edge will give you a more sure thing, because Lothar's Edge is 1 click, whereas Blink Dagger's 2. So, and split second does count. Or maybe I'm just making excuses, but right now I think a good time for the Scourge to push is once they get. Once Shadow Fiend picks up his next big item, probably going to go for a, I think MKB is an absolutely necessary in this case. I'll talk about that why in a bit. And then once Alchemist finishes AC, once Shadow Fiend finishes either MKB or Manta Style, and then once Puck and the Slayer picks up Force Staff, and Force Staff is absolutely necessary against a Faceless Void. I mean, it's one item that is just a for sure counter to Faceless Void, and it's also quite necessary against things like Shaker, against Lich, which have such a big AoE initiation. You want to be as spread out as possible, and if you get out of position, you could still be effective. It looks like Invisible Rune from the Puck, and let's see if Puck is going to get a good Dream Coil. That is a perfect 3-man Dream Coil, and there is a Blink Dagger, a 4-man Dream Coil, a 5-man. No, okay. No support from his teammate. He's gotta be a little bit careful, because if he walks here under the Sentry Ward, he's gonna be dead. He's gonna be dead. But what was I saying? Yeah, so I was saying Force Staff is just absolutely necessary, and Force Staff is such a cheap buy. If you could just Force Staff the Void around for a little bit, make him waste his precious chronosphere moments, that's gonna be huge. And ease off the pressure from your teammate. Like your Shadow Fiend can't afford to go up a little bit further now, and let's say your Puck can afford to go up a little bit further because you will have the backup of your teammate. So I'm looking to the Scourge picking up as many Force Staff as they can. Looks like gonna go for, oh my god, Chain Frost in the jungle and actually bouncing to the neutrals. The Lich getting a very lucky kill. Lich might be able to live it with his Frost armor. That is like the 6th time I think BKB was popped. And let's see, yes, that's a 5-second BKB. And BKB, I mean, he did use to a very good effect. He used it every time and he got a ult off. But, you know, now he's at 5-second. Now he's very, very, like, he could just blink in BKB and then he's going to die because he won't have anything really after that. Oh, he's, woo! That was nice. Mushi, quick reaction rate. So we see that Lich is very, as predicted, paying off as a hero because just, you know, team fights like this is just going to be horribly imbalanced if you get a Chain Frost. And that Chain Frost was lucky in the sense that it bounced off the creep and then bounced off the hero and got a kill. But it was even more lucky for the Scourge because if it was bouncing non-stop like that, then they would have both died. But no big deal, no big deal. So let me check out how everyone's farming and then doing an item progression. So BKB going on the Faceless Void, 190 creep kill. We're approaching like 13? Is that 13? Well, let's say if this... No, it's not. What am I smoking? It's around, I think 6 or 7. I don't even know. I'm probably wrong, but never mind that. So anyways, long story short, he's farming like a champ. Like he's got BKB, Battle Fury, Treads in 28 minutes. That's respectable farm. 190 CS. That's just insane, right? So Mecha on the Lich, and what happened to his Ring of Health? Did he sell his Ring of Health? Yeah. So I like that choice instead of skipping the Vanguard. He shouldn't. I'm not too sure whether he even needed the Ring of Health. Could have just got a Ring of Protection, upgraded to Headdress, and that's gonna be it. So probably sold his Ring of Health, no big deal. Let's see, Shaker is trying to farm his dagger. Now, one thing I do notice about a lot of teams nowadays is that they will give the Shaker farm. I think the more traditional way to play Shaker is that, ooh, this Tinker might be in trouble. My god, Tinker just getting DPS down so much. And looks like the Razo is going to have just chased for that kill. Unfortunately, not enough TP support. Oh no! Coming in the lick of time, the Radiance Burn damage will get a kill on on him. But it looks like his ulti is running out. So he is going to be mortal again. There is going to be a stun. His teammate is coming. Is Yamate going to follow? He does have the BKB, so he can be very aggressive. It looks like he's going to do just that. Very, very frail in terms of armor coming in from the Sentinel. And it looks like, yes, they will chase Yamate back. So a very good kill being picked up by Alchemist. Alchemist level 18. Yes, he's actually close to Yamate's farm as well. Again, you gotta keep in mind that he's been free farming for practically the whole game, and also he has Goblin Greed max of 7. So we're looking around 240, 250 CS. So he's definitely a leg up in compared to the Yamate in terms of farm. But again, the merit of Alchemist is that he will get to those items quicker than the Void. But if it's full 6 items against 6 items on Void, then Void definitely wins out. And earlier I was saying the MKB should definitely be picked up on the Shadow Fiend, and the reason is that the backtrack on Void. Well, I think I just mechanically screwed myself. I believe backtrack is based off. It's called pseudo evasion. It's not true evasion. Backtrack is based off trigger heal. So how it works is that, let's say you're gonna take a hit from an enemy. Let's say it deals 40 damage. So instead of just making you avoid it, the computer would register that you have taken the hit, and then backtrack will heal your HP back. So you go minus 50 and then you go up 50, and of course it's done in an instant. That's why you can't backtrack a spell that will kill you. So for example, if you're at 2 HP and someone Laguna Blaze you, I don't think you could backtrack that. I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. So I was thinking, well, there is an evasion on the Sentinel team, so I thought MKB would be a very, very good idea to counter that evasion. But it's not evasion; it's pseudo evasion. It's trigger heal, so MKB would not have an interaction with that. But MKB is still going to be very good in terms of stunning the enemy hero, and when he's trying to attack. And also, I'm pretty sure Yamate is gonna pick up Butterfly, eventually. So it's not a bad idea to make a preparation for that. But I think Alchemist is gonna be going for a different item. Now the very standard item to be after this set is going to be the heart. Will with the heart and the alchemist all and the vanguard being popped up, you're looking at 3.5k HP, even maybe even closer to 4k HP, and that's just an insane amount of HP. Just he probably won't draw enough focus. Like he's not going to be top priority in my opinion for Yamate to kill, because it's just too much HP, too much armor to go through. I think Yamate would be better off to kill the other people, the other team instead. So what this allows the Alchemist to do is just run in against the entire team and just do as much damage as possible. And it looks like we're going to have a teleportation coming in from Tinker. And actually, very interesting. Tinker going to go for the Shiva's Guard, going to give themselves a little bit more AoE presence. There's a very brave soul TPing, and that is the Alchemist. He pops his ult before he actually gets changed, and that's actually pretty big, because if he didn't pop his ult, and are we gonna have his Dream Core? No Dream Core, and actually these guys are gonna back up. Yamate is gonna back up to mid, noticing that there's a huge amount of farm. So a very farming intensive game. If you look at the scoreboard, 11 to 11, a big team fight going on. Man, I've been missing these team fights left and right. And actually, Roy the Witch Doctor got picked off, and these guys, it's just Q to TP out immediately. And let's see if Scourge, excuse me, is gonna go for a big push right now. Scourge, I mean, so far I believe Scourge has been having a pretty good advantage. It doesn't seem like it on the scoreboard because the game is very even, but you could really tell the Scourge heroes are mostly on the pushing part. They have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 towers, and this is going to be the 6th tower, very low HP. And because of the map advantage, you see, they have still retained a mid tower. Because of these map advantage, they have picked down a Roshan twice. And you would expect with heroes such as the Shaker, with the Lich, with the Tinker, you would expect Sentinel to get the map advantage. But I think right now it's just the Nirvana.my actually outplaying Scythe pretty well. They've been getting ganks off quite well, and this Alchemist is just ridiculously farmed. And he's going to go for an Ultim Lord. Very interesting choice. I believe that is going to be a Manta style, a very strong DPS item. And it might be a little bit mind-boggling, like why? Oh, they are gonna kill the Shaker, and that's pretty big in terms of the Shaker would not be able to delay the push with even more and more stuff. We're gonna see a teleportation going. Chronosphere getting 2 great casts on the Chronosphere, and then get focused on the Lich, and that was very good move by Yamate. Actually, BKB dodging it up, and what was that? Oh, that was Aegis, excuse me. Looks like Chain Frost is going to be bouncing like crazy, and there's going to be enough bouncing going on the Alchemist. Alchemist so very tank, but I think he's going to be going down. Another great dodge from Yamate. Yamate is just insane with reaction rate, but he's actually taking quite a bit of damage, and you can see the tanking power of that Alchemist. Alchemist so very tank, and I think one more raise. Oh, one more hit. Come on. I'm not too sure. Oh my god, Yamate just... he definitely backtracked that. Did he backtrack that? Well, there was a backtrack in the fight, and that probably made him live. Man, if you just want to scroll like 2 or 3 minutes back, Yamate was just absolutely baller. He first had a perfect Chronosphere, getting to like both of the heroes are on the edge. I think it was a Shadow Fiend and then Avenge, like perfect Chronosphere grabbing 2 hero. And then what he did after that was just ridiculous. Most players would have said, "Oh, Shadow Fiend right here, I'm gonna just kill him," because he's a carry. He's the most important target, which yes, that's true in most cases, but he knew that because he had 2 teammates behind him anyways, Shadow Fiend was going to go down. So he knew the Shadow Fiend was going to die, and he just simply walked to the next target. Usually in any other circumstance, that Venge would have lived, and then the Shadow Fiend would have died, and but instead Yamate, through his very exceptional decision making, grabbed himself an extra kill. And that wasn't even the most impressive part. The most impressive part is that when he was hitting the Avenge, he just popped the BKB, dodged LSA, which allowed him to, which grants him the kill, and then which made him chasing like a baller. And then he lucked out, like backtrack luck, and then saved his life as well. So that was, it's a very small exchange of, I mean, again, something like that won't show up on the scoreboard, but it makes a big deal in the game. So just exceptional play, and this Shadow Fiend's dead. Shadow Fiend, you dead, son. Pops a BKB. BKB does nothing for you, and Chronosphere, very cool, very quick cooldown. And this is where Ghost Staff, and he blinks. Oh, Mushi with the juke, and yes, Ghost Staff. This is why I think melee carries can't be in Dota. You just can't, because there's gonna be how the fuck? I think with these 26 kills in the game, I have caught like 2 of them. Literally, I've been missing every single kill, and I apologize. Definitely apologize. I think I've never missed so many kills in my life, man. This is really bad. Like especially after that, like, oh yeah, man, look at me. I done 100 commentary. I'm beast, and then I just missed 24 kills. So whatever. So what I was saying, yeah, this is why I don't believe melee carries will work in Dota, because sooner or later we're gonna see many 4-staff. We're gonna see many ghost staff, or at least we should. There isn't hex, so that's not bad. Why? When will professional players start to learn ghost staff or 4-staff as the answer to everything? None of you. Okay, Venge knows what's up. Venge knows what, but I just don't like. I don't think Venge should be the person buying the 4-staff, because you already have a swap to save your teammate. You don't need a 4-staff. I think Lina should definitely get the 4-staff instead of this point booster. I mean, really, come on. And then, well, Alchemist don't need it. Puck might not be a bad idea if he picks up a 4-staff either. And of course, you guys saw how BC my Shadow Fiend is. I buy 4-staff on Shadow Fiend too. So that's how beast I am. I'm gonna drink some liang cha because my throat's hurting. So Ghost Staff, Butterfly, BKB, Blink. Finish on a Shadow Fiend. Let me check out farm. Yamate 307, 222 on the Tinker, so these guys are splitting a farm. Let's picking up 81. It looks like he's gonna go for Aga, I think. I think Aga's a better choice here. BKB shouldn't. I mean, mostly physical damage from the Scourge players. Meanwhile, actually, yeah, man, Mushi, like 230 usually is okay farm for a Shadow Fiend, but compared to, okay, yeah. Anyways, back to this. Yeah, he's just being outfarmed by Yamate, and everyone's being outfarmed by Yamate. And Yamate just, and this is where the Battle Fury plays off, right? Yes, for the 10-15 minutes ago, I was ragging on how Battle Fury first is just not a good item in terms of survival. But what that allows you to do in mid game is just accelerate your farm so much. And this is where it allows your melee carry hero to outfarm a Shadow Fiend, outfarm a free farming Alchemist. So that's, like I said, every item in Dota have its own merits, and we shouldn't really disregard it. Even Vlad's first on like PL, that has its merit too. Not the best, but it has its merit as well. Dreamcore actually getting only one person, but we're gonna have a Blink BKBO. That was the time to do it. If you want to do a Scourge now, have to be very careful in terms of positioning. Like, this is just if a Chronosphere grabs 3, then that probably is the end of the team fight. Unless let's say the Venger's not in it, then he could swap and he could 4-staff. Or unless, let's say, the Puck is not in it, you could hex. But it's not even so much that if there's a good Chronosphere getting off, then Yamate could just right click. It's more so that the Chronosphere just sets up his teammate. And oh, there's gonna be a jump. Oh, he can't even use his ult. That's actually good. And we see that 4-staff. And that is no answers. That's why you need 4-staff, baby. 4-staff on Alina would have saved them. But no, that was just easy 2 kills being picked up by the Chronosphere. You can see that it's not the Chronosphere, it's not the Void that killed him. I mean, Void definitely got the double kill, but really, it was the Chronosphere putting those 2 heroes immobile, stopping the Shadow Fiend from coming in, because he can't. If he come in, he would get stunned too. So it's the Chronosphere in terms of also allowing his teammates to just free DPS on these guys as well. So that's why Void is a very good hero in if you play it right. But again, so far all the successes we have seen against I'm going back to commentary 98, I believe, where there was a PA carry. I'm going to commentary 99, where there was a Magina carry, and now in this game with a Void carry. All these successes are off the mistake of the opposing team. There's absolutely not enough 4-staff, there's not enough Ghost staff, and there's definitely not enough like Ice Wall invokes when there was invokers in the game. So I think players really okay. This I'm just a little mad because I know these players are 20 times better than me, and I know that they know about the game more than me, but I just don't know why they're not seeing something so obvious. to me, it's just completely obvious that you just want to get Force Staff ASAP against the Void. But okay, whatever. Whatever. We'll see. There is a Force Staff on the Venge, but as we saw, that problem is that Venge really needs to be outside of Chronosphere in the first place, and then go for the swap. But whatever. I think Lina definitely, that is next item, and then Puck, that should be his next item. And you can see that as we see Yamate getting Beastlier and Beastlier, MKB gonna be picked up as we see him going into like a beast mode engaged. The previous acquired position coming from the Scourge is actually now lost because now they can't go for the Roshan as safely. You gotta keep in mind that like Void can't just rape on the Roshan. I mean, Roshan. The reason why we see so many big ass team fights near the Roshan area is that everyone's so clumped. This is a very small choke point area, so if you go for Roshan, you could just get killed easily by big AOE spells. And the MKB being finished on the Faceless Void, which that's going to be absolutely insane against the Shadow Fiend. And Shadow Fiend, I mean, he should finish his Ghost Scepter. Not finish his Ghost Scepter. Finish his Void jumps in very bravely. He should finish his. Oh, they're gonna go for a Shaker. Shaker goes down. Shaker was trying to initiate. Are we gonna have a good Chronosphere? No, they're not. We're not gonna have a good Chronosphere. They still gotta be careful because Void could just jump in anytime that he wishes. And then if he gets at least 2 or 3, or at least 2. I mean, if you get 2, and one of them being a carry on the enemy team under your Chronosphere, then that's really, really good already. We saw Force Staff pushing the Venge. I think they're going to try to initiate on something. I can't catch any kill this game. I don't know why. There's some kill going on here. Swap, going for the stun, and I think the Witch Doctor might live. The Witch Doctor is going to go down to 1 more hit from the Venge. Really well done. Moving on the mid lane here, and it looks like Chain Frost is going to be bounced, but no bounces. And it looks like Lich is going to be going down as well. So picking up 2 support, but meanwhile, Tinker, this is what Tinker gives you, map advantage. Despite I think in any other scenario, we would have seen Scourge would have just pushed. But because they have Tinker, they're going to just make you go back and defend. Looks like these guys are not defending. Now Tinker's going to get a free tower. They were trying to kill Yamate. Yamate is so tank at this point. Even though he's only got 1900 HP, his backtrack, his time walk is just too much in terms of survivability. And now they did force a Puck to TP back. And then, I mean, in any other case, you would have seen the mid tower probably going to go down for Sentinel, but because they have the Tinker, that did slow it down. So well done by the Sentinels. And gonna do another farm check. 382 on the Void, man. This Void is CS is just a little bit getting a little bit out of control. Definitely getting out of control. He's got 2,500 gold. Looks like he's gonna be jumping in. I think Alchemist is they need to pick that shit up quick. And oh man, he's wasting very precious seconds of his Chronosphere, but he's gonna walk in. There is an Alchemist. Yes, there is a Force Staff, and this is exactly what you need to do. And it looks like Shadow Fiend's gonna be A-OK as well. He needs to blink, no, blink on the sea. Oh, blink! Oh my god, juking Yamate, and that's actually pretty big as well. I believe Yamate's BKB's on cooldown. I can't catch any action. I don't know why. Like, this game is just a nightmare for me. And it looks like they're gonna go for the Witch Doctor instead. Witch Doctor quite low. Is there gonna be Hex? Hex does have a pretty long cooldown. There is a Force Staff on the Lina. Another Force Staff. Yes, Puck. No. Venge Force Staff first, and then Lina Force Staff, and now I'm gonna go for Void. Void is gonna go crazy, and I think they might have overstayed their welcome a little bit. Yes, there is Raze. Oh man, we just saw an insane combo. Ethereal Blade into ult from the Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend gonna go for Beast mode, Yafit mode, and they get himself a couple kills. And I believe this is gonna be a mid-rax. Tinker is still alive. Tinker bot back, so he is gonna be pushing the top, and he should be pushing the bot lane as well. If I was in Tinker's position, I would just give up mid and trade bot. I would just trade because there's no way Tinker can defend because there's just too many positional items on the Scourge. There's too many like blinks in the form of the blink daggers on both these two heroes. There's too many Force Staff. Well, there's no Force Staff item. Looks like there's going to be a buyback from the Void. They're going to try to kill the Alchemist. Alchemist so very tank. You can see that his HP is going to be regenerating like crazy. And actually, Shadow Fiend, Beast mode engaged. No, Shaker comes in, turns the team fight around with his Echo Slam, but Alchemist still alive. Puck very, very low HP. Blink Dagger, not Blink Dagger, BKB being picked up by the Tinker. I don't like that choice. I'll talk about it later. Yes, I don't like that choice because these guys are all physical. I think what is more important right now is just to finish your Hex. They really need perma hexes against the Alchemist, against the Shadow Fiend. That would just be really, really helpful. I think that BKB was just a little bit too defensive an item, and it just, I mean, it's good, but it just don't do enough for you in my opinion. So very very exciting team fight, and man, I just feel bad because I'm not really up for it. Energy wise, I feel like this probably is not one of my better casts. I feel like I'm missing kills left and right, but still, I'll try my best to finish the game and give you guys the best possible cast I could do. Now we can see that the 4-staffs are just paying off. Last team fight we saw the Void coming in the Roshan pit, forcing the Alchemist out, and then the Shadow Fiend was okay because he has BKB, he has Ethereal Blade, he has Blink Daggers, many survival items against the Void. So as Puck should pick one up as well. The more 4-staff you have, the better position you have. 4-staff is just like a poor man's positions item, and against a Void, it's gonna just be easy. It's just easy stuff. And you can see that just being very, very effective. And I'm sounding like a broken record. Puck, what are you doing? I mean, oh my god, why? 4-staff is better. I mean, really, it's better. It's always better. But whatever. Manta Pucks. I mean, if you're gonna go for a big item, if you don't want 4-staff, then go for like, I don't know, Shiva's, like armor would help against the Void. Cyclone wouldn't be bad, like if Void goes in, you could self Cyclone and be like, lol, where you at? Things like that. What does Manta do for you when you trap under Chronosphere? Jack shit. Now one thing that is a little bit good about the Manta is that you can kind of F up the Chain Frost is being cast against you, but even that, Sentinel has such a great amount of AoE, Echo Slam, Chain Frost, Cast, March Machine, and of course Yamate with his each and every hit is like AoE. With such high amount of AoE, Manta images are just gonna die. So if you were getting it for survivability, this is just a bad choice. If you're getting it for DPS, is also a bad choice. So no idea why, as we see finally not Yamate, Alchemist with the heart finish. The DPS on the Alchemist is just a little bit insane. You gotta keep in mind that whenever Alchemist is under his DPS or under his ultimate form, his BAT or basic attack time is I think 1.3, which is I believe one of the shorter ones, or one of the shortest in game. I think Lycan rivals it, but that's pretty much it, I believe, and maybe Tro. But yeah. So let's see what item is Void picking up next. Item check, no hex finish, and that's quite critical. Really no new items coming from Sentinel because they've been losing fight after fight. That last fight they forced a buyback on the Tinker, they forced a buyback on the Void, and that's pretty big. Void does have 2k gold. I think the buyback is still under effect as we see a big engagement in the jungle. Am I missing anything? I'm not missing anything. Void's quite low. His BKB is down to 6 seconds. That's pretty big. I think Vengeance. Oh, 4-staff! Should 4-staff yourself, not the Venge. So, and not the Void. Not too sure what that was about. So, oh, Shaker. Dream Core going on. I think Lich is gonna go down. Lich goes down before he gets off his ult, and I believe it's pushing time. Yes, it's gonna be pushing time coming from the Scourge, and I'm not too sure whether the Sentinel can defend it. Sentinel does have the Chronos here. Looks like the ping for the Roshan is done by the Observer. Roshan might not be a bad idea. I don't think the Roshan's up. No, Roshan is not up just yet. Do they still have the Aegis and the Cheese? They still have the Cheese, and I do believe Cheese. Don't lag, please, lags. What? The irony. Yeah, I believe Cheese still retains, right? Cheese should stay because it's not an item. So, meanwhile, Shadow Fiend's raising golems. If you were Shadow Fiend, what item would you go next? I would consider selling the treads and then go for BOT. I mean, you will have a slot for either Cheese or Aegis, and then I might be considering selling Cullen's Dagger for something like Lothar's Edge. Not the exact best item, but you know, or maybe an MKB for more DPS, or maybe a Manta style for a little bit of extra survivability. But not too sure whether that is the best choice of it. Meanwhile, if you're Yamate here, he's gonna go for Satanic. I mean, he's as maxed out as you can be, right? He will just finish Satanic, sell his treads, buy BOT, and then maybe sell BKB to buy a new PKB. That's all you need to do, and then you save for buyback. And I say that's all you need to do, but that's probably like 7 or 8k extra. You need you need 3200. You need the recipe. That's 4k, and then you need you sell the treads for the BOT. That's another like 2k, So yeah, he still has like 6k to farm, but you know it's Yamate. He's making money like it's nothing. 454 creep kills on Yamate. 3,800 gold. I mean, in this case, it's not a bad idea to go for Rapier in the sense that I feel like the Sentinel is definitely losing. You can see that just the map position. Sentinel extremely defensive. They can't even go really past this kind of arc here on the mini map. I mean, if you're losing, it might be time to get a Rapier. It's definitely a very kind of ballsy play, but it's a play that will turn the game around one way or another. I mean, if you're losing, you're gonna just lose harder if they pick up the Rapier. But I mean, Rapier is just a significant amount of DPS that can get you back in the game if you play it right. I'm not saying he will do it. I'm saying it's a choice. It's definitely a possibility. So both teams are kind of just dilly dallying around. I think both teams is just looking for one very good fight, and then after one very good fight, they could just win. In terms of one very good fight, I definitely will give the advantage to the Sentinel because they have better AOE stuff. Again, Echo Slam, Chain Frost, Chronosphere. But in that regard, if the Sentinel, if Scourge is up for it, you know they do have their Force Staffs. They do have very survival based items. Definitely, like everyone is a survivor in one sense or another. Like an alchemist is definitely a beast mode. Like a man, he's tank as his like with his ult off, he has 3,500 HP. So when his ult's on, we're looking at 4k, 4.5k ish kind of HP, and that's a little ridiculous. That's a little ridiculous. And okay, just farming MP. This is where I should have left my Madoka story to tell you guys, but do check out Madoka though, but only if you're not a fan of like Bleach and Naruto, because you won't enjoy it. If you enjoy Bleach and Naruto, you will not enjoy Madoka, I think. It's just catered to a different crowd, I think. Yeah, it's like to give a very bad analogy and very mean analogy. If you're homosexual and someone presents you the other gender, like you just won't like it. So you know, yeah. I was gonna say something about tentacle hentai, but I get enough. I referred it once or twice as a joke, and then now like everywhere I go, like no matter who I talk to, it's like, hey, Lumi, watching tentacle hentai? I'm like, dude, I don't even watch tentacle hentai, but I think it's just something I have to you know, one moment of mistake, you have to pay the price for all eternity. But actually, okay, going back to the game, I think Shadow Fiend would not be bad if he picks up a MKB, nor will be a bad idea if Alchemist picks up a MKB. Which should give you a very interesting fact. I believe when the range MKB bashes, it's a magical bash. I believe that's right, so it won't go through a BKB. But if you're a physical hero and you have MKB and you bash, it will go through BKB. So that's something to consider about. Or did I switch the two around? I believe what I said is correct. Yeah. So maybe, or you can get a basher. I mean, that's not bad too. But of course, MKB goes through the butterfly, so that's a little bit helpful. So we're gonna have a big engagement in the mid lane. A lot of heroes converging, and looks like we're gonna see the engagement. Oh no. Okay, Alchemist has his ultimate activated, and we're gonna see a swap going in. They're gonna dump everything, and they will kill. Who is that? That was Yamate. They killed Yamate so very quickly. Void bites back, but even though he bites back, we're gonna see heroes dying left and right, and very good engagement from the Surge team. And man, that was just all venge, and got a quick swap in, and the team all blinked in, completely amount of focus. It was an Ethereal Blade Laguna, and that was it for Yamate. Yamate did have buyback, but you know, even if you could buy back, your teammate, like if you get initiated upon as a carrier, your teammate they're forced to go in, they're forced to bail you out, and then they died as well. So we're gonna see Cheese being picked up. Ooh. Aegis on the Fairy Dragon. Well, I mean, that's a logical choice because, you know, Alchemist ain't dying with his 4,400 HP. Shadow Fiend picks up. Shadow Fiend has 2 cheese. Shadow Fiend has 2 cheese. Oh my god. I think cheese has a cooldown. I believe cheese has a cooldown. in terms of activating it. If you activate one, the next cheese should have a cooldown. But I think the Scourge is a little bit too stacked, and this is why, ladies and gentlemen, melee carries don't win games in the highest level. It doesn't win games because once they force staff out, you can't change target. I mean, you can change target, and you have to change target, but you have to run there. Whereas, let's say if you're bottom and if you're very stacked, if you force staff, whoever she's focusing out, you could just right click the next hero in 600 range, and that's no big deal, right? So, and don't give me that. Oh, he has time walk. Like, Void has to initiate with his time walk. So, this is why melee carries don't work. And it's not like the Scourge team went full out counter. Like, there's definitely even many more items you could pick. Like, Puck could get a ghost staff, Lina could get a ghost staff, Venge could get a ghost staff, and then they could all get 4 staff. That would have been Void's nightmare. And they could all get like eel scepters. That would have been Void's nightmare too. But no, like, they only got like 2 4 staff, and that's just enough. Like, that's why I believe melee carry is not gonna cut it in Dota. Unless you're Alchemist. Unless you get like, oh my god. Oh! And let me tell you about that. That was just very good communication. I'll talk about that. There's a huge team fight going on. But because the Void's dead, because he has no buyback, I mean, he's probably have buyback go, but he won't have buyback timer. He's going to use a cheese, no big deal, 4 staff. And then he probably could use another cheese, no big deal. He's a champ like that. But in that swap, if you want to scroll back like 10-15 seconds, what you saw there was a swap, and then immediately the swap happened, there was a hex. Now, how do you get that in game? Is that you would ask whoever your hex spirit is, which in this case Puck, you would ask your Puck to actually click the hex and click it on the enemy hero. And then after your Venge swap, your Puck will immediately hex as soon as possible. But you have to issue that command before the swap happens. So you saw that the Void came into the hex range, got hexed immediately, and then that was just a complete amount of butt rape on Yamate. So now, I mean, I've been giving a lot of crap about melee carries. Yes, Void's definitely a good hero in terms of you can get an AoE disable, but I feel like he's just that. He's just an AoE disabler. Of course, there's really good DPS and there's late game potential, but if you get initiated upon, you're just effed up. So I'm a little bit dubious of the choice of Sentinel still going into the Void after the Scourge got the Avenge. I think, let's say if Scourge had Crystal Maiden instead, I think the Void would be a very, very good choice actually, because it's what really fucked him up. And also, good choice by I mean, if I was playing the Puck, I would go Dagger and then Force Staff on the Puck. But we saw that the Hex actually paid off twice. Of course, one big team fight here where there was a swap into a quick Hex, and then again here another swap into a quick Hex. So I'm not too sure whether it's out of position for Yamate, because level 16 swap range is ridiculously huge. That's why like Venge is such an OP hero. I don't want to blame it on the fact that because Yamate's Void's melee, like any other range carry would have been dead in the same case. So I just don't want to blame it on the meleeness of the hero. So let's say if Yamate is playing a Dusa instead, or a Drow Ranger, a same swap and the same quick hex would have been dead regardless. So I think it was just the way the game. It was just the way the cookie crumble, if it would have made sense. Let's say if Void had an Aegis, then the whole fight would have been different. They would have killed the Void, and then it starts afresh. But it was because the Sentinel had better mid game heroes. Well, I did say Sentinel had better mid game hero, but Scourge played it so well. They utilized all their hero effectively. They got 4 Roshans. I mean, if you hear a team get 4 Roshans and then win, you'll be a little bit surprised, right? So Scourge got 4 Roshans. You saw the Mushi had 2 cheeses. How often do you see 2 cheeses on the hero, right? So I think it's not so much a hero. I've been bragging on the hero, I've been bragging on item choices, but it's mostly, again, like I assumed in the early game, it comes down to positioning. And there was a couple of good team fights coming from Sentinel. They got a couple of Chronospheres, and that really sets up for those really good mid game team fights. But then Scourge played it well in the late game. They got crucial swaps in, they got crucial hexes in, and that was it. That's how the cookie combo, especially if you put all your eggs in the same basket. If Sentinel definitely has some pretty good team fights where they kill either the Shadow Fiend or they kill the Alchemist, excuse me. But if you have dual carries, you could actually let off the you could alleviate the weight a little bit, if it makes sense. So I think that's it for me. Again, not the best cast, not the best. A little bit embarrassed actually, but hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. It's definitely a good. I mean, it's not a very exciting game, very low kill count, very long game, very low kill count. But I feel like there was very big important concepts to point out in this game. Mostly the whole melee-ness thing, how Force Staff is OP, and also very interesting Shadow Fiend items. Idera Blade, I mean, it works, especially against other physical DPS carry. And also, we witness once again the carry potential on Alchemist, even out carrying Void. I mean, if Void and Alchemist Dukes 1v1, the Void will win for sure. But Dota is not about that. It's not about 1v1. It's about the fact that you run in, and then they want to focus you because you do a lot of DPS, but they fucking can't because you have 4,400 HP with 25 armor. Like it's just it's ridiculous. So now, before I end this commentary, I know, like I said, a lot about like strategical stuff in this game, and I know a lot of you guys do like to dairy craft a little bit. Just type out whatever questions, I guess, or concerns, or if you want to dairy craft, just type it out on the comments. I think I'm gonna do a new, I don't want to call it segment, but I'm going to do a new addition to my commentaries from now on, or I'll try to. It's basically I'll take like the most interesting response on the comment box. Let's say someone makes a very good case, I don't know why, or let's say someone made a very good case about why the Scourge didn't need Force Staff, and then in the end of my next commentary, I would like dedicate at least 1 or 2 minutes kind of responding to a comment or dairy crafting in response, something like that. I think stuff like that will increase engagement between the commentator, myself, and the viewers to kind of get some conversation going, and I think it will also improve viewers in general in terms of Dota skills. So it's something I'm working on. So if you have a very interesting or a very controversial item or item choice or something related to this game that you want to talk about, just post it in a comment, and then I'll select, I guess, the best 1 or 2 and then talk about it. So again, sorry for not for the best cast, but I mean, I guess it's okay, right? It's okay. You guys like me. Go watch Madoka if you're not a Bleach Naruto watcher. Nothing wrong with watching Bleach or Naruto. I just personally don't like it, but you guys could like it. I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. Leave me those feedback, and then I'll get back to you guys next time. So, of course, this commentary is affiliated with DC, and for more content, for more Nebula content, also check us out on DC.com. And then I believe that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this. This is Luminous signing off, guys. GG.